Okay, so I'm going to start writing out the questions for you guys, but these are the next objectives for this section. So other than watching the Khan video and getting some more notes on this, I'm going to do 4 of them with you, and then you can finish the rest when I come back the next day. So this is number 41, so if you need to pause this to write this, you can. So it says, find the angle such that its complement. So remember, we had complement and supplement as your 2 vocab words. So complement is 5 times the angle itself. Okay, so I'll give you just a minute to write that down. Okay, so keyword here, no go back and forth in between complement and supplement. So complement means 90 degrees, where supplement means 180. Okay, so what they're saying is, and this is just a drawing representation, it doesn't necessarily be the exact measurement, but they're saying this should be, the 2 angles should add to equal 90. One of them we don't know what it is, but the other one in relationship to this is 5 times bigger. So whatever this number is, I need to multiply it times 5. So that is what a drawing representation of it would look like. Okay, so if we know that the 2 of them are supposed to add to equal 90 degrees, then we're going to set the equation up for that. Okay, so one of them we don't know, so that's the x, but we're going to add the second angle, which is 5 times bigger than whatever x is. And the 2 of them should add to equal 90 degrees because it's a complement. So for the supplement, we'd be doing the same thing, 2 angles that would add to equal 180, okay? All of these, you're always going to have an x, like you don't know one of them, but they're going to describe how much bigger or smaller the other one is in relationship to the x that we don't know. Okay, so now we're just using algebra to combine our like terms. So 1x and 5x would give me 6x equals 90. Okay, and then just solve for x. So we would divide by 6, divide by 6. So x is equal to 15. Okay, and they were just wanting to know what this angle was. So if they asked you for its complement as well, to name the angle and its complement, then you would plug 15 back into there and go 15 times 5. Or the other thing would be, the 2 are supposed to add to equal 90, so if I know one of them, then I could just subtract from 90 the what I do know to find it's the other angle that is a complement to it. Okay, but they were just looking for 15. Okay, so x is equal to 15. All right, so now we're going on to number 43. Okay, if you need to pause this video to write this down, make sure you do this because I'm just going to read and get moving on it. So on number 43, it says find the measure of angle ADB. So angle ADB. So this is the angle that we're trying to find. Okay. Given that DB, so there's the middle one right here, DB is the angle bisector. So angle bisector was one of your vocab words. So angle bisector means you're taking an angle and you're splitting it in half. So it's equal amounts. So like if you had a 90-degree angle and you had the angle bisector, you'd have 2 45s, 45 and 45. So it means they're equal measurements. Okay? So you have to look at what information they're giving you. Sometimes they will give you the big angle, like ADC. And they're saying it was split in half and they tell you what the big angle is, you divide it in 2. Other times they'll tell you one and you know what the other one is based on the information that they gave you. Okay, so we're finding the measure of ADB, so I already marked that in red, given that DB is the angle bisector of ADC. So ADC is the big angle. And so they said the measure of BDC, so BDC now is this one. So BDC is 18. Well, if it's the angle bisector, then that means this is the same thing as this. Okay, so when they were looking for this one, they actually told us the answer. Okay, so we're going to write the measure of angle, because that's the one they were looking for. Angle ADB is also 18 degrees. Okay, so this is your answer. So you just have to look at the information that they gave you. So if they actually would have said ADC, angle ADC was 36, and they wanted, and that was the angle bisector, that DB is an angle bisector, and they wanted to know what one of those are, then you would just divide it by 2, okay, to get what one of them are. So it's not always just the whatever number they gave you is the answer. So make sure you're looking at your drawings to make sure the representation is right. Okay, so our next one that we're going to do is number 49. Okay, so number 49 says just solve for x, and then they give you a drawing, and these are like something we've seen before where we have vertical angles and supplementary angles. Okay, so they have 3x plus 25 written here, and 5x plus 123 written here. Okay, so because they're not vertical, vertical would mean they're equal to each other. You would have set those equations equal to each other, but they're not. They're on a straight line. And straight lines are called supplementary or linear pair, okay, which we've had before. So that means they add to equal 180. Okay, so we're going to do that. We don't know what they are, but we know they should add to equal 180. Okay, so we're going to write an equation. So it's 3x plus 25 plus 5x plus 123. Okay, so we're going to combine our like terms. Sorry, just coming across the room to grab my calculator here. Okay, so we have 3x and 5x, so that's going to give me 8x. And then I have 123 plus 25. Okay, so these two, combining these two, would give me 148. Okay, so now solving for x, I've got to move the 148 over to the other side. So I do the opposite. So I'm going to subtract that from 180, and it gives me 32. Okay, so now I have 8x equals 32. Okay, so now I'm going to go 32 divided by 8. So that means x is equal to 4. Okay, well they actually were asking just for x, so we are done. But some of these they will ask you for the equation, like what each of the angles were. Okay, so if that's the case, then you would plug 4 back into here. So you would go 3 times 4, which is 12, and 12 plus 25 would give me 37, okay? And then you could either subtract that from 180 or plug 4 into here and go 5 times 4, which is 20, and then 20 plus 123 would be 143. So these two should add to equal 180. So if you ever wanted to check your answers, that would be the way that you would check it. Okay, they just asked you to solve for x, so you are done on that one. Okay, our last one is number 50. Okay, so again, pause this video if you need to be writing this down. So number 50 says the measure of an angle is 36 less than the measure of its supplement. Find the measure of the angle and the measure of its supplement. Okay, so remember we had complement on the last one, so this one is supplement. So supplement means it adds to equal 180. Okay, so remember I said, and all of these are not going to tell you what one of them is, okay, but they're going to describe the other one. So whatever they have written as a description in the sentence is what you're writing for the other one. Okay, so if I scan back up here to the first sentence, it says the measure of an angle is 36 less than the measure of its supplement. Okay, so which I should probably have this flipped. X should probably be over here and the other one should be over here. So that means that its supplement is smaller. Okay, so less than means to subtract. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this so this is proper since the other one is smaller. Okay, so this is really my x, the one that I don't know. Okay, and then this one is 36 degrees smaller than whatever that is. Okay, so the two of these should add to equal 180, just like it did with complement. Okay, so we're going x plus the other one, x minus 36. Okay, so remember we always don't know one and they describe the other one. There's two angles that add to equal 180. Okay, so now we're using our algebra. Okay, so combine our like terms. So x and x would give me 2x. Okay, so now now I need to solve for x, so I'm going to add 36 over to the other side. Okay, I'm just going to write it down here. So this would be 2x plus 36 plus 36. Okay, so 2x now is equal to 216. Okay, so to solve for x, I would divide by 2, divide by 2. Okay, so that means x is equal to 108. So this angle right here was 108 degrees, okay, because that's what the x was equal to. And then you would just subtract either from 180 or subtract 36 from 108, because they're supposed to add to equal 180, okay? So if I plugged in the 108 here and subtracted from 36, that would give me 72. Or if I took the 108, because I know it's supposed to add to equal 180, okay, I would just subtract the 108 from 180, and that would give me the 72. Okay, so these are the two answers that they were looking for. Okay, so there are two measures that add to equal 180, and that's what supplement means. Okay, so the only other thing that I wanted to go through with you, just to make sure that you are good, because you'll get these notes tomorrow to be working on, is the differences between complements and supplements. Okay, so they're not complements and supplements, altitudes and medians, sorry. Okay, so we have a triangle, altitudes and medians, both of them. Okay, so I'm just going to abbreviate altitude, median. Okay, both of them start at a vertex. Okay, so both of them are starting here. It's just what happens when it goes to the other side. So on an altitude, this is always going to go to the other side and make it 90 degrees. Okay, so always going to the other side and making it 90 degrees. Okay. On a median, all that it does, median meaning middle, all it does is it goes to the other side and splits it in half. We don't know if it makes 90 degrees. Sometimes it can be both, altitude and median. But other times when you have, so say like a triangle like this, okay, if I'm going from an angle and going down to the other side and splitting it in half, okay, that is not forming a 90 degree angle. Okay, but that is also the median. So on an obtuse triangle like that, a lot of times what you'll see, an altitude is like a mountain, okay, they're at the top of the mountain. When you're doing the altitude, they're not going at an angle like that. They are going straight down what they consider to be like sea level to form a 90 degree angle with that side, okay? So altitude is always 90 degrees from a vertex, and median just goes to the other side and splits it in half. So the difference between those two. Okay. So those notes and con notes, and finish the exercises for tomorrow. See you guys.